Please forgive me if this video is a bit jumpy and sporadic, I guess you could use. I'm still so frustrated and furious by this book that I left things out when I first filmed, so I am just adding more things. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Steph, and we're going to be talking about the first book that I finished in Pride Month. The terrible book that is Bi-Normal by A.G. Higgins. I don't even know where to begin with this book. It infuriated me to the point where I was going to film this immediately after finishing, but I calmed myself down with a couple hours of Expedition Unknown and Josh Gates' antics. So, we're not as enraged as I was when I was tweeting and doing my live reaction on Twitter. But that's a whole other thing. Let's just do a kind of reaction on reading reaction like I did for Seven Blazing Black, except this is anything but positive. I hated this book, and if it, like I said, if it weren't a library book, I would absolutely burn it. What is Bi-Normal, you may ask? This is a book, it's only 191 pages, about a guy who starts to realize that he is not exactly straight. He has a girlfriend, you know, he's a jock, he is top of the world, but then he has this guy come into his life and he kind of starts catching feelings. And me, the little person under this flag that I am, got very excited at, you know, a quick little read about a character discovering their bisexuality and coming to terms with, whoa, I'm not entirely straight. You know, I was very excited for this book. Reading it, it's absolute garbage, and I hate it, and I'm mad. The writing style is the first thing we should talk about. It's not the absolute worst writing style in the world, but it's very basic. It's very, you're in high school and you're having to write a story kind of writing style. Like, it just doesn't feel polished like a lot of books that I have been reading and have seen out there. It's just very basic. But you know what? I can get past that, and I was willing to look past it as I'm going through the first couple pages. Like, okay, this isn't the greatest, but you know what? I'm still going to give this book a chance. But my god, did this book show its ass. Like I mentioned, the main character does have a girlfriend. He has a girlfriend. I don't remember her name. But everyone is just cool with calling her Gorilla or the Gorilla. Even him, he doesn't mind his player buddies being like, hey, there's the Gorilla. Or it's this guy in the gorilla. I don't remember the main character's name, but I don't need to because his name is Garbage, because he's a garbage character. I don't know where to begin or where to go. I guess we kind of began with the girlfriend thing. It's just, this book made me so mad, you guys. I was so infuriated. I was expecting, like, a bit of positive rep. This is terrible rep. And I'm so mad right now. I was so excited for some bisexual rep, and it's horseshit. That's what it is. It's garbage. I am so mad. There's also backstory about the main character, his sister and dad. They live in a house. They have they're low income. Their dad's a fisherman, and the catch hasn't been great, so money is a bit hard. You know, setting up for later stuff to come. Let's jump back to where I was about, for some reason, I'm calling the girlfriend a gorilla all the time. But somehow she's still hot, but they call her Gorilla. I guess, sure, why? Moving on, the girlfriend has a sports game, and they go, and these two boys come and sit down. So the main character and his two friends go and start harassing them, because you know what? They're openly gay, and how dare they flaunt that, like, come out in public and flaunt that they are gay, and they are okay with it. They are so cruel to the gay characters in this book. I was so excited. It's Pride Month. Bisexual rep, and what do? We have a main character being an absolute douchebag to these other queer characters in the book, and then so, at the beginning of chapter 6, our main character decides to go to church with his family because, and let me just quote you an actual thing that he said. I actually go to church with Dad and Darla. Figure a dose of religion might kick this ugly crap out of me. Unfortunately, Pastor Tom's sermon is nothing to do with sex or sin. There is nothing leading up to this point, or any point after, that says he is religious and that he believes that it's a sin because of religious reasons. It's just kind of thrown in there like, hey, Christians don't like the gays. Why is this here? It just makes no sense to me why this random bit was thrown in. Like, no, let's go to church to pray the gay away. Why is this here? Why is this included? What the fuck does this add? What I really hate about this book is they try to justify, about chapter 6 or 7, it's chapter 7, the main character justifies why he's so, I dropped the book, but do I care? Kind of, because it's a library book, and I don't want to disrespect the library like that. Let me just read you 2 paragraphs that I also tweeted on Twitter at the start of chapter 7. Nate is not smiling. His arms are crossed, matching mine. I lower my hands just because I don't want to match him in any way. This is majorly awkward. What Firmery, I don't even know how to pronounce the other character's name, and I did to him and Ryan on Friday was wrong. I admit it. I'm not proud of what we did. But Nate and his friends are just so out. It's like they're advertising their gayness. I mean, they even started a club. A school club. Why? They might as well be wearing signs that say, hit me, I'm pathetic. What the absolute... Even a bit later in the book, there are some posters being put up announcing, like, hey, we have a GSA club, a Gay Straight Alliance. If you're gay, lesbian, straight, questioning, you can come hang out with us. We can talk about it. We're just here to educate and to have a little support group. And this guy just lets his friends write slurs all over the posters, and then they try to give him redeeming factors because they go to bully one of the boys, Nate, who I just read about. He was the one who was sitting across from our main character and who was bullied by the main character earlier in the book. They start, harassing him and, getting ready to beat him up and take his backpack. And they try to give our main character a redeeming trait by being like, no, guys, leave him alone. Really, you want to redeem him after he's already ridiculed this guy and his friend, that they've been just being terrible to him, and then just all this other stuff, and you're trying to get advice for your friend who may be questioning some things out of him, but you're still, part of the harassment around him. And then later in the book, he straight up busts up the guy's car. Let me explain the busting up the car thing, because don't you know there's justification for that as well. So as I mentioned in my previous little rant that we just had, that our main character went up to Nate and he asked him, my friend is kind of questioning things and he's confused. And Nate explained, well, there is straight, there is gay, and it's a spectrum. And we're not all 100%. We are all somewhere on the spectrum. And it sounds like your friend is somewhere in the middle of liking guys and liking girls. So, and just kind of trying to lay things out, here is a basic map of some queerness for you to kind of help you realize what's going on. That conversation ends, and it's a few days later at a baseball game, softball, I forget what sport his girlfriend plays. And we have them, he's sitting up there with 2 of his buddies, and Nate and his other gay friend are sitting down a bit lower in the bleachers. And suddenly this random dude comes up to our main character, sits down real quietly, says, hey, Nate sent me. He says you might have some questions. Your friend might have some questions, but we kind of know it's you. And I'm bisexual, so if you want to ask me anything, you can. We'll be quiet so your friends can't hear us. What do you do? What do you want to know? First question, how do I make it stop? You can't make it stop. It's kind of who you are. You can't force yourself not to be something that you are. So there may be girl crushes or maybe boy crushes. You can't really avoid it. It's going to happen. It's just kind of your sexuality. What's your next question? Does it ever get less confusing? Was that even the question? I have no idea. I don't want to look at this garbage book anymore, but here I go. I don't know. I don't remember what chapter that was. Eventually, the character gets up and goes back to his job, and our main character is infuriated. How dare this? And he keeps using slurs about him. For the love of Christ. Why? Anyway, he keeps thinking, how dare Nate send this dude who also shares in his sexuality to help him try and come to grips with his sexuality? How freaking dare he try to be helpful? How dare, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this baseball bat and whack his car, take out the headlights, and repeatedly beat the hood of the car. Because that's what you do when someone tries to help you with a situation that you came to them first with. I get that the game may not have been the best time to bring that out, but he was generally trying to help, even though our main character has been nothing but an absolute dick to him. And then for our main character to just take a baseball bat to his car, and then later not get charged with anything because, you know, he apologized, you know, so that's good enough. Bull. The character and book is trash, and I hate it. There's also the fact that our main character pressures his girlfriend into sex, and then is confused when she wants to break up with him. We see for the first few chapters that he's kind of like, come on baby, say you're ready, and she's like, I'll let you know when I'm ready. And we see it twice throughout the book, but it's clear that he's been trying to do it for a while. And finally, on his third attempt, she's like, you know what, fine, let's do it. And they do it, and he's like, yeah, I'm not a virgin anymore. And she's just kind of quiet. She's like, please take me home. Like, turn around while I get dressed again, and just take me home. Doesn't really talk to him the next day. He needs a ride home, and he is out in the town, so he goes to her house. Her family is a bit awkward towards him. He doesn't understand, so while she is driving him home, he asks, hey, what's up with your fam? Did you tell them that we had sex? And she's like, what the hell is wrong with you? First of all, no, because we're like 16. And second of all, it's because I told them I'm breaking up with you. And guess what? We're breaking up. Good for you, girl. You deserve way better than this piece of garbage. She points out that he is a bully. Him and his friends are bullies. And she's tired that she knew they were bullies, but she was tired of seeing it, and she was tired of wanting to be around him. And she says the only thing they really had in common was kissing. And it's like, ha, you douche. And he's still like, what do you mean? And she's like, bro, I didn't want to have sex. You kept bullying me into sex. That's why we finally had sex. I wasn't ready. But you said you were. Yeah, at the moment, I gave in. And she regretted it. And he's just like, I don't understand. By the way, at the end of the book, he learns absolutely nothing. He's learned nothing throughout the 191 pages of this book. And it's just garbage. It's absolute garbage. I hate it so much. If you want to look at the thread I posted on Twitter of me reading this book and just being mad at it and sad, then I'll leave it down in the description below. I dropped the book again. Whoopsie. I'll leave the thread of my kind of like initial reaction on Twitter because I don't know, man. I was here for this book. I was excited for the story. I want some more bi rep. I don't really read a lot of bi rep books. Or where, like, the main character is bi. A lot of it, the main character is straight. The main character is gay. Either lesbian or just straight gay. And there's not a lot of in-between. I haven't really read a lot of bisexual rep books. You know what is a good bisexual main character book? Brightsiders by Jen Wilde. I remembered the author, but not the book. But then I did. That is a great book with bisexual rep. This one, however, can burn in a fire. I'm sure there are things I missed. I just don't want to talk about this piece of garbage anymore. This was my first 1-star book that I've ever read. I mean, I don't think I can read a worse book than this. This was absolutely awful. I'm just so mad. The character was just human garbage. Absolute human garbage. I hate him so much. When did this book come out, I wonder? Because this came out in 2013. Why was it allowed to be published? That was the absolute worst book I've ever read, and I've read a few really bad books. That's the worst thing I've ever read. Like, I'm just mad and disappointed, and they want to call that rep, and they want to put like bi in the name, but then just do that. Sure, he had the hots for a guy while he was dating a chick, but this is just like, I get it, we can't all have great characters and pieces of representation. But dear God, this is just absolute, like, flaming hot garbage. I regret I wasted a day reading this. I'm so mad. I'm especially mad. This was my first read of Pride Month. I started reading Openly Straight, and I'm kind of feeling it kind of not halfway through it, and I decided I want to get a book read in this first week. So I picked up Bi Normal, one of my library pickups, and I should have just kept reading Openly Straight. What the hell is this? You know what, that's all I've got for you guys today. I'm done talking about that garbage book. If you want to see my last video, I'm sorry for posting two kind of reviewy videos in a row. You know, my last book review kind of talk about the demon book, Daughters Unto Devils. That was for fun. I actually had a lot of fun reading that book. I know I kind of ding on it, but that was genuinely fun. It may not have gotten, like, all the stars, but it's, like, right there in the middle at 3 stars. I had genuine fun with that book. I was laughing for a lot of it, even though a lot of it was also kind of garbage. But, like, that was quality garbage. This is terrible garbage. Anyway, I'll leave that video for you right here. It went up on Monday. If you want to see the video I posted last Friday, it was my May wrap-up. I read 10 books. Hell yeah, that'll be for you right here. If you want to subscribe, my face will be right here, as well as the button down below. You can hit the bell icon to be notified when I post new videos on Mondays and Fridays. Yep, that's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you have a lovely day/night, and I'll see you later. Bye.